It's October 13, 2001. We're in Oakland, California for Game 3 of the ALDS between the New York Yankees and the Oakland Athletics. The A's lead the series 2-0 and could sweep. Here in the bottom of the ninth, they're down 1-0 with a man on second, but have 2 outs. This game saw an extremely big play from Derek Jeter, perhaps you know the one. But that play might not matter too much if the guy at the plate right now redeems himself. How much rides on this at-bat? To find out, let's rewind. The Yankees need one more out to survive. Survive is not a word the Yankees organization is used to. They're more used to words like thrive and dominate and rings and yay, we're great. The postseason is where New York exerts their will over the league without mercy. They've won 4 World Series in the past 5 years, which includes an active three-peat. The Yanks have the highest payroll in the league and just so happen to have a roster chock full of experienced stars. The last time they were even in danger of a sweep was the '96 World Series. The Braves went up 2-0. With their backs against the wall, the Yankees were like, hey, why don't we use this wall to push off and propel ourselves to glory? They won the next 4 in a row to take the World Series. The Bronx Bombers have faced an elimination game more recently than '96, though. I'm talking about last year's ALDS against the Oakland Athletics. Back then, nobody expected the A's to give the Yankees much trouble. They were a small-budget team who hadn't seen the playoffs since '92. Sure, they had MVP Jason Giambi, but the rest of the roster was inexperienced unknowns. Turns out a dark horse can kick. Down 2-1, Barry Zito outpitched Roger Clemens, and the A's smashed in 11 runs, forcing do-or-die Game 5, which the consummate winners won. Perhaps the Yanks hit that October gear. Perhaps they were spurred on by Eric Chavez's confident pregame boasting. Either way, the A's season was over. So tonight, it's revenge time. Oakland has a few new faces to help them out, like this young man, who just hit a double and could potentially score the tying run. Jermaine Dye represents the A's overall commitment to winning, which, just a few months ago, was up in the air. Despite everyone's expectations for the 2001 season, the A's started off bad. The bullpen kept blowing saves, and rumors swirled that manager Art Howe's job was in trouble, even though he had a pretty good comeback line. By the All-Star break, they were 44-43, 19 games behind the incredibly/annoyingly good Seattle Mariners, and 7 games out of the wildcard spot. With the trade deadline looming, the A's had a choice. Commit to their expensive, soon-to-be free agents and go for the wildcard spot, or, as a small market team like them might, trade those guys to cut salary and try again next year. The Yankees had expressed interest in crown jewel Jason Giambi. They could certainly afford him. Jason knew a trade was possible. It looked like the writing was on the wall, but A's management decided to go for that wildcard spot. They kept Giambi and co. and picked up power hitter and 2000 Gold Glove winner Jermaine Dye. It was a gamble, and like they say in lotto commercials, gambling is good and works great. They clinched the wild card on September 23rd and went 58-17 in the back half of the season, which was the best in the league and the second best ever in the history of baseball. How'd they do it? Well, Jermaine Dye proved to be an extremely good call, and not just because he averaged nearly an RBI a game, which would have been enough, but also because he batted after Jason Giambi. Pitchers didn't want to walk Giambi. And Jason getting more quality pitches, that's going to work out well. It also didn't hurt that Oakland's young pitchers came alive. Mark Mulder was Pitcher of the Month in July, and Barry Zito earned that honor in August and September. They carried that momentum into the postseason. Oakland's pitching was instrumental to their 2-0 lead in this series. In Game 1, Mulder held New York to just 1 run. Game 2 was all Hudson, who pitched 8 shutout innings. Game 3 would see Barry Zito on the mound. That's right, the guy who forced the Yankees to Game 5 in last year's ALDS. Zito in particular was on fire at the end of this season. And he's still hot tonight. He held the Yanks scoreless for 4 innings. But then Jorge Posada came to the plate. Zito and Posada have a bit of a history. The only run the young pitcher allowed in last year's ALDS was a Posada 2-out RBI double. Could Posada beat him again? Zito threw a fastball that didn't go in, and Posada sent it out of the park.
Center field, and it is gone, a solo home run.
Yankees up 1-0. It was Zito's only mistake of the game, but one mistake matters when the other guy hasn't made any mistakes at all. This game is a pitcher's duel. Closer Mariano Rivera is in now, but before that, the A's were kept scoreless for 7 innings by Mike Mussina. The 5-time All-Star, 4-time Gold Glove winner was new to the Yankees this year. He spent the previous 10 years with the Orioles, where he saw some glory, like in 1997 when he became the first pitcher to ever record 15 strikeouts in a league championship series. But lately, the Orioles have been sliding. Last year, Mussina was a career worst 11-15, and it's not because he was pitching terribly, he just had no run support with the O's. More than ready for a change, Mussina entered free agency last fall, where, don't worry, his recent win-loss record did not hurt his reputation. At all. Everybody wanted Moose. And it was the New York Yankees who got him. How? They showed interest early and were really nice. Their record for winning rings was enticing. And they had the most cash to throw at him. The Yankees' deep rotation got even deeper, which allowed non-Yankee fans across the country to discover they had a larger capacity for hatred than previously thought. Mussina fit right in with the Yankees' winning ways. Just like Zito, Mussina ended the regular season hot. You might think the pressure of pitching in an elimination game, of being the new guy who could potentially ruin the Yankees dynasty, would get to Mussina, but he had a strategy to counter the intensity of tonight. Ignore the legacy of Yankees heroes before him. He just treated this game like a regular old game. You know, the kind where he pitches really well. It worked. In 7 innings, he had 4 strikeouts, 1 walk, and 0 runs. With one of the strongest relievers ever in the bullpen, Joe Torre decided it was time to rest Mussina in the 8th. Rivera held Oakland scoreless in the 8th, got 2 outs in the 9th, but he did allow that double. Up to bat with a count at 1-1, we have younger brother to Jason Giambi, Jeremy Giambi. Jeremy isn't a power hitter like Jason, but rather hits to the gaps and gets on base. It was his minor league on-base percentage that captured A's general manager Billy Beane's attention in the first place. And Beane added Jeremy Giambi to the roster last spring. The designated hitter had some big games in Oakland's end-of-season surge, and tonight, he's had good at-bats. In the 2nd inning, he was walked. In the 4th, he grounded to second. And in the bottom of the 7th, when I'm assuming the A's were getting nervous about needing to score sooner rather than later, Giambi got himself on base with a single to right. Now, he's not the fastest guy, and the A's could have used a pinch runner, but they didn't. Maybe because there are 2 innings left, and Giambi's one of 4 A's who's been able to get on base this evening. So Giambi stayed on first, and Terrence Long hit one down the right field line. Shane Spencer had to scoop the ball from the corner, and Oakland's third base coach, aware that they might not get another chance this good against Mussina, waved the less-than-speedy Giambi home. Spencer's throw went over the first baseman's head. Wait, who's that? Where'd he come from? That is Derek Jeter, and he came from over there, where shortstops usually are. One of the Yankees' brightest stars with a contract to prove it, Derek Jeter was drafted out of high school in 1992. He was Rookie of the Year in 96, and that same year he earned his first of, so far, 4 rings. He's never missed a postseason, he's been an All-Star since '98, and he was last year's World Series MVP. Even though his former best friend criticized his defense this winter, Jeter has made some remarkably athletic defensive plays throughout his career. There was this over-the-shoulder catch his rookie year that let us know this guy was going to be fun to watch. There was this jump throw in the '98 playoffs, and sure, some players don't have to make jump throws, but come on, pretty neat the human body can do stuff like this. And he's more than acrobatics and strength, he's got accuracy too, as demonstrated with this precise relay throw that kept the Mets from taking the lead in Game 1 of last year's World Series. Tonight he's been quiet against Barry Zito, but he can still make an impact on D. With his team up 1 in the bottom of the 7th of this elimination game, a man is chugging toward home, and his right fielder just overthrew both cutoff men down the first base line. What did Jeter do?
The throw misses a cutoff man, shot into the plate, out at the plate! Derek Jeter with one of the most unbelievable plays you will ever see by a shortstop.
With a flip, Derek Jeter wiped out the A's best scoring opportunity all night. It was so close. If Jeter had taken an extra half second to think or to act, Giambi would have been safe. In fact, if Giambi had slid, like the on-deck batter was telling him to, he would have been safe. A heads-up play from Jeter and a heads-down play from Giambi may have just given this game to the Yankees. But it's important to note, game's not over yet. Giambi has a chance right here to redeem his no-slide and devalue Derek Jeter's flip play. Because if the A's win and send the Yankees home, we'll remember Jeter made a cool play when the Yankees' 5-ring dynasty fell to the new young kings of the American League. If the Yankees win, Jeter's play becomes career-defining, lending credence to why he sits atop the throne of the intact New York Yankees dynasty. Welcome to a moment in history.
He didn't necessarily want a strike out of it.
Ground ball right side. Soriano's got it, and the Yankees live to play another day.
Thanks for watching, and consider subscribing. The Yankees ended up eliminating the A's and then going to the World Series, which you can find out all about in this video. Or you could visit another era of the A's with this video. Whichever you choose, the important thing is that you stay here and keep watching and never leave me. For Secret Base, I'm Clara Morris. Good night and good game.